I want to thank everyone for the opportunity to present my work at the Amazing Brain Symposium. My topic that they suggested was the therapeutic potential of photobiomodulation for neurologic and neuropsychiatric disorders. And that's because I wrote an article back in 2019 with my co-authors reviewing the literature on intranasal photobiomodulation. I don't know if you knew that, but you can put light up the nose, and there's a QR code to the free article. But if you really want to dig deep into this, the science of this, in 2022 they came out with a new book again with my co-authors and Michael Hamlin that really breaks down the photobiomodulation therapy in neurology and psychiatry. And what we talked about is nostril-based intranasal photobiomodulation and transcranial photobiomodulation devices are available using either lasers or light-emitting diodes and can be applied either alone or in combination with these transcranial devices that are applied to the scalp to treat a wide range of brain conditions, such as mild cognitive impairment, Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, cerebral vascular disease, depression, anxiety, insomnia, autism, and long COVID, and also traumatic brain injuries. So my question always was, how does this happen? So we have the laundry list of different neurologic and neuropsychiatric conditions that are treated in the research with all different colors, nanometers or wavelengths of light that you can see. You can either use pulsed or constant, lead or lasers, low, medium, or high intensity. You can put it on the body, you can put it on the gut, you can put it on the brain. Almost all of them have some promising results and no side effects. That's the important factor. So how can we do this? How can all these neurologic and neuropsychiatric conditions show benefit with a myriad of different photobiomodulation techniques? Is it increased blood supply? Is it better mitochondria? Is it turning on the cytochrome C oxidase to generate more energy? And I point out that you cannot stimulate a toxic brain. It won't go any faster. And so I propose a final common path that can address neuroinflammation, the brain's immune system, waste clearance, and neurogenesis. All of these are fundamental and important. Dealing these myriad of psychological and neuropsychiatric and neurodegenerative diseases. When you look at it, neuroinflammation is kind of the same as systemic inflammation. And kind of just to give you a breakdown, microglial are active when they start to create this milieu of inflammation, and they need to be addressed because they are the hub of the majority of brain diseases. And recently we published a paper looking at photobiomodulation therapy and the lymphatic system, a promising application for augmenting the brain's lymphatic drainage system. And let me point out that the lymphatic system is a glial-dependent waste clearance pathway in the brain devoted to drain away waste metabolites and products and soluble proteins such as amyloid beta. The meningeal lymphatics is a network of lymphatic vessels located parallel to the dural sinuses and the meningeal arteries of the brain. They're responsible for draining immune cells, blood, small molecules, and excess fluid from the brain into the deep cervical lymph. So an impaired brain lymphatic system can increase the incidence of neurovascular, neuroinflammatory, and neurodegenerative diseases. PBM therapy can serve as a non-invasive neuroprotective strategy for maintaining and optimizing effective brain waste clearance. Recent preclinical research in rodents has proven the efficacy of PBM for maintaining and optimizing effective brain waste clearance in several models of brain disease. So we're right at the same hub. And it really wasn't until 2011, 2012, well, where Anita Gard and her group sort of rediscovered, moved the attention of what is the brain's drainage system. Before that, they only thought the lymphatic system was there for the body. And when they did these advanced research studies, they kind of are saying that the body's lymphatic system is really there to protect and help the brain detox. So the brain flushes out waste products after a mental workout. And, it's sort of the way it works. It's how the brain heals. So if you have something that helps the brain heal, then you can have a final common pathway. And the lymphatic system is therapeutics to change the lymphatic system as an emerging therapeutic approach for neurologic disorders in general. Let me walk you through how this goes here. This is from our paper. That cerebrospinal fluid is produced in the ventricle system deep within the brain. That fluid then flows around the brain, right? And we have number two, where it exchanges within the parenchyma tissue, right? Flushes out the waste and pushes it out through the meningeal vessels here and through the lymphatic vessels that are going to be around the veins and then down deep into the neck, right? So through the nose and down through the neck. And that's sort of how it works, that the blood will push the cerebrospinal fluid through the brain parenchyma, the brain tissue, and it will exit through these functional lymphatic vessels, through the nose, through the back of the skull, to these deep cervical lymph nodes. And the nose is so important, the nasal area, because it is a main drainage system for the lymphatic system. I've highlighted the brain's drainage system here in green to show you the pathways of the waste out of the body. And this is important. And I've highlighted them in green. They're actually yellow here. They are around the venous sinuses, and they push that fluid out of the brain. So conditions affecting the brain's lymphatic system, remember, there are genetics that can slow that down. There's also pathologies like hypertension, traumatic brain injury, cardiac disease, apnea, and also lifestyle changes such as obesity, not moving enough, sleep quality being disturbed, your circadian rhythm not being up, even aging. And so what happens, as you decrease the lymphatic system's output, you kind of accumulate these neuroinflammatory processes, chemicals, which leads to neuroinflammation and degenerative diseases, which can kind of make the protein concentrations and the amount of waste product concentrations go up, which that will further slow down the lymphatic system and sort of as a downward spiral. So insufficient brain clearance can happen with sleep disturbances, stress, hypertension, high levels of alcohol. But effective brain clearance is regulated by your sleep, vascular health, and your exercise, and that stuff seems to flow around. In our article, we highlighted the work of Oksana and her team in Russia that really brought this for biomodulation to the lymphatic system to life. At ProNeuroLight, we offer devices that go around the head, the neck, and up the nose. And because we're targeting the areas of the lymphatic system, they fit comfortably and you can lay down. So if you look at where the lymphatic system exists, and then you put the light directly on these areas, we believe that that's the best way to augment the brain's drainage system and even up the nose. Right? And so these pads emit the light that assist in blood flow and assist in the fluid flow to drain the brain of these toxins. And we understand that the brain drainage system, the lymphatic and meningeal lymphatics, play an important role in maintaining water and ion balances in the interstitial fluid and the cerebrospinal fluid. They assist in waste clearance and reabsorption of these more important molecules. The second physiologic function includes communicating with the immune system and modulating the immune surveillance and responses of the brain. It's so vital for reducing neuroinflammation. Photobiomodulation to the brain and extracranial lymphatics may be a promising approach for the treatment of these brain disorders. I covered a lot of this in my book, as you know, 1,000 references that would kind of review how this all comes together. And also, you can discover how light can help enhance brain health and healing on my YouTube channel or by signing up for Summit Step. So I hope that this gave you a brief overview of how photobiomodulation can change the brain's healing system.